Well, for Giants fans, it feels like a broken record, but it keeps on playing the same tune because the Giants once again lose both games in the season to the Dallas Cowboys, and once again we lose on Monday Night Football prime time. But I will say though that just like the Patriots game, the Giants were in this one for most of the game, and really the fourth quarter was where everything went wrong for the most part. And yeah, no, for most of the first half, they were either tied or were leading. I mean, the Cowboys didn't even get the lead until right at the half point, because that's when Brett Maher makes the kick to make it 13-12. Outside of that, the Giants were leading for a majority of the first half, and there was definitely a lot of good things that came out from this game from a Giants perspective, and some things that were obviously not as good. But Daniel Jones, the fumbles were still there, but the last one of the game, the last fumble that he had, it was pretty much last play that meant anything in the game. I mean, they were already down 30-18, and it was like 20 seconds left, and that was the one after I recovered for a touchdown to make it 37-18. So, I mean, I was just trying to make something out of nothing, and he ended up getting the ball just like swatted out of his hand. I mean, I don't even know if I count that, to be honest. It's the first interception was recovered by the Cowboys. That obviously meant something more, and the interception led to them taking the lead going into halftime. But outside that, he did get a touchdown in the game, was able to get some first down runs, and I mean, he was definitely having to deal with pressure a lot of times in the game. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence was definitely coming at him a lot in that game. Because the Dallas Cowboys, they have a really good defense. I mean, they were able to shut down Barkley in terms of the run game. I mean, passing-wise, he was able to chip in a bit and get his production there, but he only had 14 rushes for 20 yards, and a lot of those was because of the fact that he just gets... Because for a lot of these runs, it's pretty much immediately just met at the line of scrimmage, just gets met by like 2 or 3 Cowboys that just shut everything down for him. So, I mean, they came with a game plan. They wanted to shut down Saquon Barkley, because Saquon Barkley obviously will be the harder defense. You get him going, then, I mean, we can see what happened. I mean, he had a really big run late in the game that sparked a bit of fire under the Giants crowd and for the Giants team. I mean, like, he ended up having like a really great run that really salvaged his day in terms of that regard, and pretty much made a play out of nothing. And I mean, that's something that we see Saquon Barkley do a lot. I mean, it's really the key in terms of like winning this game. If he actually has like a better rushing game, then who knows? I mean, maybe the score is different, but obviously that's not what happened. Cody Latimer was great in terms of the kick returns. I mean, that was pretty much like his main production in terms of this game. I mean, he had like 2 really, really good runs that set up the Giants in a great spot. Went over that midfield line at one point for one of his kick returns. So, good thing for a special team, at least. I mean, Dak Prescott is interesting. I mean, if he gets paid the money that he wants to by Jerry Jones, I'm gonna laugh a lot. And if this game gets used as like proof that, then, oh boy. I mean, he's got a really great offensive line. I mean, we saw this. I mean, we all know that the Cowboys offensive line, they can put in work. I mean, he's got Ezekiel Elliott, who killed the Giants defense like we all knew he would. I mean, he went over 100 yards easily. Michael Gallup is he's been great in both games against the Giants. He got touchdowns in both of them, I believe, too. Because he had a really great athletic play to just stretch it into a touchdown in this game. Blake Jarwin, he only had 1 catch, but it was for 42 yards and it was a touchdown. And I don't know how in the world he was just able to get all those yards pretty much untouched. But man, it was a really, really bad play because he pretty much caught the ball like 5 yards away from the line of scrimmage and ended up running 37 yards after catching the ball. And like for a good 20-25 of those yards, no one was around him. I mean, Amari Cooper pretty much was able to get past DeAndre Baker. I mean, DeAndre Baker has had a rough season. I mean, he had the pass interference call that really affected this game. I mean, that call, I think, really changes this game because it really gets it got the Cowboys a first down because it was on like third down, I believe. Like it was. I mean, you could make the argument whether or not it's actually a pass interference call. I mean, the Giants challenged it, but of course, you don't. Pretty much it never get overturned. I mean, I don't think the Giants have had it go their way into overturning a call once in a defensive pass interference call. And we're always on the one that's getting a defensive pass interference getting called on us and trying to challenge it, and it never works. And it didn't work in this time, so they ended up getting a first down, and he ended up scoring on that drive. And, I mean, if it isn't called and it went to fourth down, they obviously have to punt. And at that point, that was a drive where they actually got the touchdown, I believe, to make it 30-18. So they were still down by 5. Will Hernandez sparking the rivalry. I mean, this game got really, really chirpy, especially in the second half. There was pretty much a penalty like after every other play. It became a complete mess. But you know what? I have nothing wrong with what Will Hernandez was doing out there. I mean, he was pretty much like the main instigator, I think, in a lot of these, because he was definitely one of the main participators in a lot of these scuffles out there. And I mean, listen, you're playing against a rival. Your team is doing terrible. You need to fire up your team at some way, somehow. I mean, we see it all the time in hockey. I mean, what do you do? You got a team that's down by a bunch of goals. It gets scrappy. I mean, it becomes a scrappy game. And it became scrappy in this one, too. I mean, this is a fierce rivalry. The Giants are tired of losing to the Cowboys. I can tell you that right now. I mean, I don't care if we're trying to get a good draft position. You don't want to lose to your main rival. I mean, I think the Cowboys are the Giants' main rival. I mean, the only team that really contend for that is Philly, and I think that they would be at like our second to like pure hatred, which is crazy because, you know, obviously you think they'd be them being a closer team, it would be like the other way around, but obviously Cowboys Giants is always a marquee matchup no matter how either one of those teams is doing. That's just a fact. I mean, this is a primetime game, and the Giants are terrible. I mean, everyone knew the Giants were going to be bad this year, but they still put it on primetime. Why? Because it's Cowboys Giants. It's a rivalry game. You're going to want to see it. And they were making it very scrappy. I mean, this game was interesting for a lot of reasons. I mean, of course, the whole black hat thing. I mean, the Giants ended up losing the lead after that happened and then losing the game. But to be fair, we're already cursed this season anyway, so I don't even think we needed a black hat to be cursed even more so. I mean, the Kevin Harlan call, though, on that black hat call, though, is great. If you haven't heard it, it was going around on Twitter last night. Check it out. You won't regret it. And also Monday night, too, I should say, because I'm recording this on Wednesday, since yesterday I was busy with classes, so this is a bit of a later reaction, but you know what? I'm still going to obviously talk about this game, because this is a big game to talk about. Ah, man. So, where do you go from here? I mean, we go from a fierce rivalry in Cowboys-Giants to a kind of rivalry that is, I mean, they play in the same stadium, Giants-Jets. Leonard Williams is going to be returning to play against his old team. Maybe that's lights a fire under him. I mean, the Jets have been terrible. I mean, they lost to the Dolphins. So anything can happen. I'm not saying the Giants might be favorites during that game, but the Jets look bad. And I think the Giants could use that to their advantage. So I'm sure a lot of you guys were watching this game because, I mean, it's Monday Night Football. There was another game on, I think, last night, too, at the same time, depending on where you're at. But obviously, this was like prime time. This was on ESPN. So I think a lot of people were just watching this anyways. So let me know what you guys are thinking about this game. And, like, whether or not you're a Cowboys fan, Giants fan, or just somewhere, just a fan of the NFL in general. Because, or what did you think about the Giants' performance, or what do you think they're going to play in the future? Because I think the Giants did some great things right, and I think that they ultimately just let themselves down in the secondary especially. And once again, it all comes down to the defense, which is the reason why we are in this position of being bad, pretty much. I mean, if the Giants had a league average defense with the offense that they have, we'd easily have like 2 or 3 more wins, I think. And I think this game could have very well have been one of those wins. Now, feel free to disagree with me. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You already know what to do. Follow me on my Twitter, which I have linked in the description below. Take care, guys.